Welcome, Zach, to another video. Um, Today I wanted to talk about ingenuity and the ability to build things all on your own. You're probably wondering, hey Dylan, how did you get into one of those poultry farms where they breed chickens till they're huge? Well, it's called movie magic. That's how. So ingenuity is, in my mind, the ability to take things and repurpose them and into stuff that it works. I took the bus to Lowe's today. I took the 9R for San Francisco bus fans out there. The R is short for rapid, and boy was it. I got on the bus and nothing eventful happened. I got off at Lowe's and I went into Lowe's and I wandered around. And it can be nice to be inside of a construction store, home improvement store. I don't know what it's called. Lowe's, the construction store. I wandered around for a while and I looked at a bunch of different kinds of boards. I looked at corkboard. I looked at plywood. I looked at floorboards. And because I wanted to get some sort of firm board that I could attach a bunch of green squares to make it into a nice green screen that I was then going to stand on top of my bed. And what ended up happening is, as I perused through the price of all these boards, I started to realize something, which was it would actually be cheaper to just buy a green screen. Which I did not do. I left the store. All I bought was a 5-foot pole and some zip ties. No reason. I got back and I realized that I had this old clipboard that was huge for an art class. It was a huge art class clipboard. And I was like, hang on a second, you can clip paper to this, right? And then I just taped all my paper together. And then I realized I could hang the board on the wall. So then I just made it all for free instead. And so that was nice. And I guess kind of ingenious? No, because that's not even the right word. What's the word I'm looking for? Ingenuity? That was pretty ingenuity of me. I guess it is ingenious. But I kind of associate ingenious with being genius, which I am not. So anyways, green screen works. I can do funny things like not even be on the green screen. Help me. Maybe I should do a hand puppets thing. Would it be a funny show if I did a hand puppets thing? Sometimes when I lay in the dark, I don't even sleep. I just lay there with my eyes closed. Is that normal? I think one of the simple beauties of life is trying on somebody else's glasses. It's never going to work. Like, you know that no matter whose glasses they are, every time you try somebody else's glasses on, there's not an inkling of a chance that it's going to work for your eyes, but you do it anyway. And it's kind of sweet. It's like you want to see through somebody else's eyes and see what they see, but you actually don't see what they see because that's not how glasses work. You're just seeing something that they'll never see. You're seeing through their glasses as they will never see. Does that make any sense? So this is the other segment. I wanted to read something that I had written. No more riffing, no more stories. First of all, it must be mentioned that this is just the first installment in a long list of furniture that has been important to me in my lifetime. It was 2004, and as luck would have it, I had found myself in the ultimate situation for any 4-year-old. I was jumping on the couch. I had recently been on a trampoline at my neighbor's house, which was a place that I never went again, since foolishly I had gotten myself lost in their home. This was an act which brought great embarrassment and great shame upon myself and those associated with me. Perhaps I was hiding, I don't recall. I think the real issue was that they did not have a safety net around their trampoline, which is a divisive political issue all on its own that I will not be getting into. However great my fondness for trampolines may have arrogantly stood, it was quelled and sated by the beautifully rebellious act of jumping on the couch. It was nearly as good as a real trampoline, but its value to me truly broke even due to its convenient location in the living room. The couch was brown, I think. I remember hiding behind the vague colored couch, which is a holy place accessible only by the very little. I would hide in the deep recess between the wall and the couch where I was invisible in order to perform great crimes. My criminal knack involved sneaking into the kitchen, where I would locate the shelf upon which my parents kept a long roll of pink bubble gum. I would then take a bite of the gum and scamper to my clandestine fortress, where I would chew the gum for all of 30 seconds before swallowing it whole. I have been told several times that this was somehow bad for me, and yet I have never felt any consequences. We had a good friendship, the couch and I. This, of course, was sullied on the day that I was jumping. Jumping on the cushions of the couch is just fine. It's the middle of the road. Doing so certainly beats just sitting or standing on the couch, but it's not nearly as exciting as ferociously scattering the cushions around the living room and jumping on the springy underbelly of the naked and defenseless couch. Any avid couch jumper can tell you that the problem with cushions is that they cause you to sink. As you jump, your tiny feet fail to find any real airtime. Their momentum is dampened, cushioned, by the soft body physics of the spongy coverings. But with only a few minutes of blind rage, one can remove the cushions and leave them scattered around the room, the way that dogs kill chickens. Once their authoritarian stance against fun has been forcibly made absent, one could revel in the beauty of life and jump upon the tightly stretched canvas bottom. Taking flight into the upper stratosphere of the living room had never been so easy. However, as it is known to all creatures who fly, one must stay away from the sun. Foolishly, my pride meandered too close to heaven. I intended to fly to the ceiling, and as I ferociously stomped down upon the canvas that covered the springs below me, I watched in horror as one of the massive black springs burst through the overworked hide of the couch. The corkscrew end of the spring faced downward. My foot pushed its way below the pincher, and just as I was about to be rocketed to my coronation next to God, the spring stopped me, digging into the top of my tiny foot, pulling me back down to earth. I screamed, of course, just like Icarus. It was like my foot was like this, boing, and then the spring was like, and then I was like, oh, and then I was stuck there. Hey fellas, here's 5 things you should never do on a first date. Number 1, mention your mother's name. No one needs to know that, first of all. Second of all, it's weird. Third of all, what, you're going to introduce each other soon? Fourth of all, you actually know your mother's first name? Number 2, if your hands are sweaty, you should lean into that. Try to touch your date on the face as soon as possible. Number 3, don't order any kind of drink at all. I know that there's a big problem where guys only drink beer, I think, and they have some weird thing against drinking anything that tastes nice. Like, hey, look, don't get me wrong, I like beer, but I also like when a drink tastes good. I'm in the mood for a drink that tastes bad. I'd get beer, and that's fine. Sometimes I like that. Sometimes I don't like that, and I want a nice drink. And there's nothing wrong with that. The same goes for coffee. And so my moral, though, is that if you're a guy getting a drink at all on the first date, that looks bad. No matter what you pick, you're wrong, basically. You probably shouldn't be taking 5-minute phone calls during your date from other girls. I've seen it happen a lot, actually. And most of the time when you do that, the girl can tell that it's actually your buddy Ron. She can hear Ron on the other side almost every time. So she knows that it's a guy calling you and that you're saying it's a girl, which like it isn't a red flag or anything, except that you're lying. The part that's a red flag is that you're lying. Not that you're talking to a guy, it's that you're lying. I think that guys should be able to talk to guys if they want to, and girls should be able to talk to girls too if they want to. But please don't put me in jail for saying that. I also think it's important in the dating scene that you split the bill. I think that it's stupid to expect a girl to pay for the whole thing. Don't wear a hat on a date unless you're a bald guy and your head is cold. If you're not bald, you should not be wearing a hat unless it's for religious purposes. So if you're bald and religious, you can wear a hat, but if you're not, don't. Unless you're a wizard, in which case you don't need my advice. Yeah. So that's the advice portion. So as you may or may not know, the suffix or prefix, I forget which, er means that denotes that the thing is from somewhere, right? So a hamburger is from Hamburg. Germans moved to the Midwest and they brought one of their cultural foods, and everyone was like, oh, you're from Hamburg, it's called a hamburger. Another example is New York. If you're from New York, you're a New Yorker. But, because language loves to change and adopt new meaning as time goes on, you lose certain meanings and gain other ones. For example, where the hell is Cheeseburg? That's the end of the joke. Here's a little life tip for all you out there. If you're on an escalator and you don't want to walk, stand on the right. Please. Thank you. It bothers me when people stand on the left or block the whole escalator. It doesn't make any sense because, yeah, sure, the stairs are moving, but I'm trying to go twice as fast than if I was walking up the normal stairs. I'm not here for a free ride. I'm here to go twice as fast as I would ordinarily be going because I'm in a huge rush. So if you're on an escalator, please stand on the right. I'm behind you. Yeah, I think I'm out of bits. I didn't have any bits going into this. Okay.